You may think that discipline is something you either have or you don't. You may blame yourself that you can't stick to your plans. But discipline has nothing to do with your character. It's about how your brain is wired and how you've set up your life. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to work with your brain instead of against it. To give you guys a bit of context, I was never really that disciplined and addicted to the wrong things and had the wrong habits. I used to smoke weed all the time. I used to drink all the time. I used to take drugs. I used to just want to have fun. That's what I used to think life was all about. And then I went through a phase where I felt quite numb, quite hollow. I had no idea what I was going to do with my life. I realized I was on a path to probably being homeless, being stuck on the side of the road, not having any money, having nothing to show for, I guess, my potential that my family would tell me I had. But meanwhile, I was still partying every single weekend and wasting all that said potential and all the money that was given to me by my mother. I decided I needed to lock in. I needed to start focusing on my life and started creating content, start providing value, start businesses, start coaching. So I got disciplined. And what I'm going to show you today is how I got disciplined, how I've gone over the past, I'd say last 3 years, gone from having no path at all, having no purpose in life, to now living a life where I feel quite fulfilled and quite happy when I wake up in the morning, and I actually enjoy it compared to where I've been in the past. And it's not because of some serotonin boost from a little pill that I've taken or some grass that I've smoked. It's all occurring naturally within inside my brain. Nailed the intro. Let's get into it. Okay, guys, how to trick your brain into being disciplined. Not a character flaw, it's a design problem. Not some motivational video that's going to get you all fired up and disciplined and wake up tomorrow and do your 100 push-ups. Go for that run. No, I want to give you guys some tips of what has helped me, I guess, build a disciplined life. A life where it makes it easy. You don't even have to think twice about being someone that is disciplined. And being someone that is disciplined, in essence, is just someone who says what they're going to do and actually going and doing it. Okay, why discipline feels impossible? It starts with something called dopamine. Now, dopamine is not just some pleasure chemical. It's a motivation and drive chemical. It affects every aspect of your life and you may not even know it. Now, I'm not going to tell you the definition of dopamine. You can go look that up for yourself. But this is how I understand that it works based on some pretty good research out there, which I'll share. Today, specifically what I want to talk about is your baseline dopamine. You want to aim to have a high baseline dopamine and not a low baseline dopamine. Well, in essence, what dopamine is, so it gives you energy, so it gives you motivation. It's what makes you feel good internally. Now, I'll give you an example. We've got different types of actions that can either cause a low baseline dopamine or a high baseline dopamine. I'll give you an example from my own life. So, what causes low baseline dopamine? I used to go to the clubs quite regularly, all the time. And for anyone that has taken anything before that is chemical, I'm not going to get into naming specific things because I'm not sure how YouTube feels about that. You know what I'm talking about. You feel this amazing rush, all these endorphins coming in, all this serotonin coming through. You start to think that every girl in the club looks amazing. You feel like you are amazing. You feel like you're so strong. You look so good. You take your shirt off, you're in the club, you're feeling good. That is a huge rush of dopamine. You feel amazing, like you feel so good. When the next day rolls around and you probably haven't slept yet, you feel like absolute shit. And the only way to get out of it is to have another rush. And that could be the next thing that you do. Smoking some weed. It could be drinking again the following day or the following night, or going out again the following night and doing the same thing you did the day before. Just so you can have that same high, that same experience again. And we see that with a lot of addiction, whether it's alcohol, whether it's drugs, whatever it may be. It's an addiction because people are constantly chasing that next high. It all comes down to your dopamine. And those actions cause a low baseline dopamine. But a high baseline dopamine, that comes from doing something that is quite difficult. So for example, coming up with an idea for this YouTube video, sitting in front of my computer right now, filming this YouTube video, it's going to take me anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour to put it all together. It's going to take me another probably hour or 2 hours to go and edit the video. And then once I post the video, I'm going to get this bit of dopamine. But in filming it, in talking to you guys right now, I'm getting dopamine in exactly the same way that you would get it taking something at the club. But it is not something I'm getting all at once. It is something that is building up over time because it's hard work. It takes effort. It takes mental energy. It takes some form of difficulty to put this all together. Other examples, I mean, I've written it down here. You can see I've put exercise, deep work, cold exposure, journaling, meaningful conversation. For any of you that run or have heard about a runner's high before, it's a high baseline dopamine task because running is shit. Like, it is difficult. You go run a marathon or a half marathon. I haven't run a marathon yet. I've run half marathons. You go run one, it's difficult. Like, the whole time it's difficult. You are getting more tired. Your muscles are getting more sore, but you keep going. And when you get to the end, it is such a nice, rewarding feeling. And the rest of the day, your body is tired, but mentally, you are energized, you are happy. I feel quite peaceful. And that's because what has happened, right? When we have these big spikes, when we go to the club and we take whatever, we have these massive spikes of dopamine and it feels amazing. It feels amazing for a short short amount of time, and then it crashes and it goes lower. Then we need that again. So we get another spike, and the next time we go even harder, and we drink more, and we do more, and we take more. But then the crash, it goes even lower once again. And we keep going, and we keep doing it, and then another crash. What ends up happening is your baseline dopamine, where your dopamine sits at its normal level, just keeps dropping and dropping and dropping. And you fall into a feeling of what most people will call depression or sadness. It all just comes down to your habits and your actions that you take every single day. So if we look at the examples of what spikes your dopamine, social media. Think about if you wake up in the morning and the first thing you do is go on your phone and you start scrolling before you've done anything else in the day. 9 times out of 10, you're going to feel sluggish and tired the rest of the day, or the rest of that morning, or the day is going to feel a lot longer than a day where you didn't have time to go on social media or go on your phone. Eating junk food. We always say when we have a massive meal, we have the massive burger and chips, and I'm not against junk food every now and then, but you have a massive burger and chips, or you have that KFC, you have that deep fried food, whatever it is, that amazing taste that tastes so good as you have it. You finish it, and then all of a sudden you need more. You need to eat more, or you're feeling tired. People always say, I'm tired now after eating. And it's because you've just had this massive meal that's now your dopamine's dropped because it's faded away. The sensation, your plate's gone, takeaway's finished. Now you need to eat more. So I'm going to either order more food, or I'm going to go eat something sweet. I'm going to get something else that's going to just go and do what? Spike my dopamine again. And then I've got some other examples here. Netflix, drugs, as I've mentioned, and gambling. These are all examples of actions that cause a huge rise in dopamine and then lead it to crash, and you have that shit feeling internally. Like I spoke about the high baseline dopamine tasks. So what's cool about these things, right? They're difficult. They're not easy to do. You have to put yourself through some sort of pain. But what's really cool is they build up slowly over time. You don't have as much of a peak or a rush compared to your low baseline dopamine tasks. But when they come down at a higher level than what you were at before. Then, when you're at your normal level of baseline dopamine, you're going to be feeling better off than what you felt before you started the difficult task. So now, in turn, that makes it easier to do the next difficult task. So you go and do that next difficult task. You go to the gym, and after the gym, it comes down and it's like, shit, I've got to run 10Ks today. It's easier to run 10Ks at this level than what it is down here. So let me go and do it. And then so on and so forth. And you just keep stacking up those tasks, those difficult tasks, and you're going to wake up every morning feeling on fire, feeling like you're winning in life because you stack up these difficult tasks. You continuously do them, and that is what discipline is in a sense. Like, discipline is people that are so consistent with doing things that contribute positively to their life, or what they believe is positive to their life, that they continue doing it. Now, you might be saying, Jada, I love socializing, I love going to the club, that is positive to my life. Fair enough, and I get that. Cool. You want to be social, you want to meet people, but like, you don't have to take the stuff. You don't have to drink a lot. You don't have to smoke to go and socialize. You can go and join a run club and socialize with people at a run club. You can go to the gym with a mate and socialize with your mates at the gym. I think it's just about putting yourself in healthier environments, which we'll get onto now. You want to make sure that your dopamine hits aren't quick, easy fixes or quick, easy hits. These are difficult things that you're doing. So it builds up your baseline dopamine. So you feel on top of the world 90% of the time. You just crave doing more and more difficult things. You get to a point of being addicted to difficult things that contribute positively to your health, to your physical, your mental health, to your life in general. And you feel like you can really achieve anything. And that's what contributes, I would say, mostly to discipline, is understanding the difference between having a low baseline dopamine and a high baseline dopamine. Now, I did say that there would be some research back in this. For those of you who don't know, Andrew Huberman, scientist out of Stanford, scientist and lecturer, and he's obviously got his own podcast. Pretty authoritative guy, I'd say, in the space, right? And his research on dopamine, he says that the key to sustained motivation is not chasing these peaks, but rather protecting your baseline. And he says the worst thing you can do is spike your dopamine first thing in the morning before you've done anything else, which is what I spoke about just now. So if you guys understand this and you just are aware of your actions and what is contributing to your dopamine baseline, I believe that you will already become 10 times more disciplined than where you are now if you are still falling into these habits on a consistent basis. The easy, quick reward tasks. If you convert those into difficult, slow reward tasks and try cut these out as much as possible, I promise you're going to feel like a better person going forward. Let's move on to the next thing. Your environment is controlling you. You either design your environment or it designs you. Now, you could be knowledgeable about dopamine baseline and understand you need to make better decisions, you need to form better habits. But if your environment is not a good environment, it's going to shape your behavior more than your own willpower will in terms of the choices you make. Let me give you an example. You could be in a friend group, they love partying, let's say you're in university, or you are just in an environment where after work, everyone loves to go get drinks and have a ton of beers, whatever, hungover the next day, most days, work is still a struggle, okay? But internally, you've decided, no, I want to start going to the gym. I want to start prioritizing my diet. I want to start prioritizing my health. But now you still are in these same environments where you feel peer pressured, or you feel like you have to fit in. I still have to go to the bar. I still have to go to the club. You know, I still have to go and chill with that mate who loves having some of the grass, whatever it may be. You are just held back. You could be waking up in the morning doing 100 push-ups, but by the end of the night, you still end up 6 beers down, shit-faced at the bar, and now you need to try do it again tomorrow. And I promise you now, those 100 push-ups aren't going to be easy the next day. There's some more research from BJ Fogg. He's a behavioral scientist at Stanford. He did some research and it showed that behavior is a product of the person, their motivation, and most importantly, their environment. So by changing the environment, you change your behavior without needing more willpower. As an example, your phone, now you can see I've got notifications there. If your phone is on your desk with your notifications turned on, you are literally one notification away from dropping that baseline dopamine, from having that quick spike, going onto social media, seeing that message, or going onto Instagram, scrolling for hours. I mean, how many of us do it? I've done it before. Sometimes I still do it. I catch myself doing it, where I will be working on something like creating this video, for example, and then all of a sudden I'll see a notification, go check, oh, someone liked your video, someone commented on your video. And next thing I find myself scrolling looking for video ideas when really I should have been working on the video that already an idea was generated. Then you lose an hour, maybe 2 hours of time. And all of a sudden you get off your phone and you find it difficult to lock back in on the task that you were actually doing. That is your dopamine baseline going lower after you've just had a nice spike from that bit of scrolling. Just an example of how your environment can affect you. So rather, if you are going to get into some work, put your phone on do not disturb, put on grayscale, put it in another room, lock it up, whatever you need to do. I think there's apps now that actually make it difficult for you to go on social media. The core message here is that you aren't weak. You're just operating in an environment that was designed to distract you. There's studies that show that visibility drives behavior directly. For example, people that keep fruit on their kitchen counters are more likely to eat fruit compared to people who keep junk food or snacks on their kitchen counters are more likely to eat the junk food or snacks. I mean, it sounds pretty self-explanatory, but it's just that example of visibility. What is in your environment affects your actions and what you do. So in essence, your environment is making decisions for you without you even realizing it. And like I said, this includes people that are around you. If you are surrounded by people who have no goals, no drive, no purpose within their life, don't have any clear structure of what they want to do or where they want to go, those type of people will maybe drag you down in that same direction, no matter how much motivation or willpower you have. So the fix for this is engineering your environment, surround yourself with the right people, make sure that your space is suited to what you actually want to do, where you want to go with your life, what actions it's going to take to get there, and make it as easy as possible with as little friction as possible in order to do those things. I'll give you some practical examples of an undesigned environment versus a designed environment. So we can look here on the left, the undesigned environment, your bed not made, a messy space versus bed made, space clean and clear. Phone on the desk with notifications on, phone in another room when working or sleeping. Okay, we went over all of these now while I was talking, and you guys can read. Well, I hope you can read. If you can't read, I'm sorry. This video might not be for you. I've used quite a bit of text in these slideshows, but if you're listening, I hope you are getting value from this. No shade at all. If you can't read, if you can't see and you're listening, I appreciate you being here. Next thing, habit stacking. Oh, we've heard this one on social media before, but do we know how to actually do it? Your brain already runs on automatic habits, right? You wake up, you brush I hope you brush your teeth. You drink your cup of coffee, you are checking your phone. Okay, that's automatic habits that you've already got. These require zero effort because they're already wired into your brain. You've already done them so many times, so it's pretty much you on just this autonomous mode. So habit stacking can be quite valuable when you are trying to pick up new habits, right? You may be trying to read a book, you may be trying to start journaling, you are maybe trying to start going to the gym, maybe trying to start running, you are maybe trying to listen to a podcast, maybe meditate, pray, whatever it is. You're trying to pick up new habits that you haven't done in a long time or haven't done before. So instead of saying, I'm going to start reading for the next month, I'm going to start reading 10 pages a day for the next month, what you should rather do is stack it on top of something else. So if your normal morning looked like waking up, brushing your teeth, having a coffee, then why don't you wake up, brush your teeth, have a coffee, then after you've made your coffee, attach the reading onto it, and then keep it in that order every single morning, because then it makes it easier to actually stick with the habit. Whereas if I'm waking up one day and I'm reading 10 pages in the morning, then another day I forget to do it, so I do it in the afternoon, and then another day I'm about to go to bed and I realize I haven't read my 10 pages, I need to read them now, it's going to feel rushed. It's not going to feel like you've actually set some time aside for it. And you are going to find it more difficult to be consistent with that habit. And a lot of what discipline is consistency and being consistent with something, saying you're going to do something, showing up to do it, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video. Our good friend BJ Fogg, who I mentioned just now, the research guy from Stanford, he calls these tiny habits. So his formula is simple. After you do X, you will do Y. So you anchor a new behavior to an existing one, which removes the biggest barrier, which is starting, which is what I basically just told you guys. But let's even type him out here. BJ Fogg. Shout out, bro. Thanks, BJ. Appreciate you. I'm sure that's 2 first names. I don't think his name is BJ. Anyway, moving on. What's happening is the existing habit becomes the trigger for your new habit. And the cool thing about this, you can start small. It really doesn't have to be a massive habit. You can do something literally for 2 minutes. You are literally just building out the triggers and not the habits itself. And sometimes it can take a bit of planning. Like you could do what I've done here, right? You can have a look at what your habits already look like, what you want to do, and then take what you have as triggers and organize it into something where you can actually follow it. So for example, I've got your wake up, make bed, cold shower, coffee, journal, gym. Do that every single day. The habit just becomes second nature, and you are now using triggers to do it instead of having random habits throughout your day. I, for one, actually still struggle with this sometimes because of the work that I do. Sometimes I see clients early in the morning. Sometimes I see clients a bit later. Going to gym early in the morning is something that I was doing for a while until I couldn't go to gym early in the morning. And now every day is sort of a bit different in terms of when I see clients. So I can't gym every day at the exact same time. But for long enough, I had built the habit from I wake up in the morning, I have my coffee, brush my teeth, go to the gym at 5 a.m., 5:15 every morning, that now every day, I just know that I need to go to the gym at least once in the day. But I still have some habit stacking going on early in the morning. I have my little morning routine. I've got a video on that. Maybe we'll make a YouTube video on it. You guys can go check it out on my social media channels. I think it's in my shorts on YouTube right here, or you can go check it out on Instagram, on TikTok. I'll link all of that. There's a morning routine that I've got now that I'm following where I've literally just used habit stacking to stick to it. And it's made a big impact on my life. And I just feel like I'm going into every day doing what I'm said I was going to do. That was a bit selfish of me. Sorry guys, I'm talking too much about myself. Okay, so here we go. I literally just wrote this thing, how to build a stack. Keep it short, 2 minutes to start, build from there. Be specific, not read more, read 1 page. Who's reading 1 page? Like, make it a bit more difficult than that, or give it a time. Read for 10 minutes, read for 5 minutes. Give it some sort of number that you can equate it to, okay? Read more is very vague. Go to the gym more. You know, I'm going to go to the gym twice a week. I'm going to go to the gym 3 times a week. Makes it easier to stick to it. And then no gap. So do it immediately after the trigger. 0 delay. It's going to make it way easier to build out the habit. Cool. That's habit stacking. Not much more to say about that. Now, the big one, an identity shift. You don't need to love discipline. You need to become someone who is disciplined. I actually made a video on this. I think I might have deleted it because it didn't do too well, but it was about your desired reality and how to become someone who creates their desired reality by becoming the person that lives that desired reality. Sounds a bit mangled, but it will make sense now. I actually did the video on that board behind me. So this is the deepest level of creating this discipline that most people miss out on. Understanding your dopamine baseline is really good as a start because you need that basically for everything that you do. Crafting your environment and habit stacking are tools, but identity, who you are as a person, is the foundation of all your actions, of everything you do in your life. So stop saying, I need to go to the gym. I should get more work done. I want to be more consistent. And start saying, I am someone who trains. I am someone who does the deep focused work. I am someone who works on my business. I am someone that creates content. I am someone that is serious about my life and where I'm going. I am someone who does what they say they will do. There's actually a researcher, I think I put this up in my story the other day. Her name's Daphne Oiserman or something like that. She found that when people see a behavior as part of their identity, they are significantly more likely to follow through on it consistently. And in essence, the language that you use about yourself shapes what you actually do. So every time you follow through on something that you say you're going to do or is based on the type of person that you say that you are, it casts a vote for that identity that you've already built up in your head. And that's why I love this idea of being the main character of your own life. We as individuals are all living our own life And as selfish as it might sound, we are the main character in our own lives. We need to prioritize ourselves. We need to prioritize who we are becoming and who we want to be. You have got to make sure that your actions align with that type of person that you're creating in your head. Because in our head, we all have an idea of the type of person we are. We all love to put labels on the type of person we are. I've got it in my Instagram bio. I'm a personal trainer. I'm an online coach. I'm a content creator. I'm an entrepreneur. So these identities that I'm creating in my head, I've got to follow through on that, right? Every time that you follow through on that identity, you're casting a vote for it. Every time that you don't, you're casting a vote against it. I'll give you another example. I was running a business. I was selling products online. I told myself, like, I'm a proper businessman. I'm going to make a lot of money. I am serious about business. I want to grow this thing. But I was, you know, I don't know if my family's going to be watching this or not, but I was smoking weed like every day, very often, all the time. Like I was Bob Marley or something like that, or a rapper. I used to listen to a lot of rap music back then, and I thought I was a rapper and not really a businessman. I don't think you see Alex Hormozy smoking a lot of weed all the time. I don't think Jeff Bezos, maybe, we don't really know, but I don't think he's smoking it all day. Elon Musk, questionable. I mean, he does all types of stuff, but I mean, no one can really compete with him, so can't really use him as a comparison. But you go look at most successful businessmen out there, they're grafting 10, 15-hour days, and I don't think that they are smoking weed all day. That's an example of where my identity that I'd formed in my mind, the person that I said I was, did not align with my actions. I was ill-disciplined, okay? And by that point, I had formed a lot of discipline in other areas of my life. I'd made a lot of progress, but there was still drawing me back. And I had to understand the identity shift, who I wanted to be in my brain, had to follow through with the actions that I took. Now, if you go look right now, I'm a personal trainer and also wanting to get into the online coaching space, provide more value to other people, not just around training and nutrition, but maybe around on stuff like this where you're rebuilding yourself and understanding the identity and understanding the type of person you want to become. And you go look at my content. I've shared content every day for the last, I would say, 2 months, and I want to try to do the rest of the year, to be very honest with you. But that's an example of your actions following through on the identity that you're trying to create. And in essence, it's not about one big decision. It's about small daily actions that just compound over time. If you've ever invested money, they always tell you, man, put your money in the S&P 500, put in the NASDAQ, put in private equity. Every time it grows a bit, it's compounding. And it compounds more and more and more and more the longer you leave it. It's the same with your actions. If you form positive actions that align with your identity and you do them every single day, like clockwork, naturally you are going to become that person. Simple. How this relates to discipline is because discipline stops being a struggle the moment it becomes part of who you are. As you can see over here, I've got two separate things: trying to be disciplined, being a disciplined person. Trying to be disciplined relies on motivation. They're inconsistent. They fall off when it gets hard. Says I need to go to the gym. I should eat better. I want to be more consistent, as we've spoken about. The shift, in bold letters as well. But it really is, it means that much, I think. Being a disciplined person, they show up regardless of how they feel. Identity drives behavior. Says I am someone who trains. I am someone who does what they say. I am someone who eats well. I am someone who does the hard things. Actions are automatic, non-negotiable. You want to be a disciplined person, make sure that your identity that you've created in your head, saying who you are, aligns with your actions. Every time that you do something that doesn't align with your identity created in your head, you're going against that identity, and it's not going to work, brother. As I just said, every time you follow through, you vote for that identity. Every time you don't, you vote against it. Small daily actions compound into who you become. I've spoken about all of this. Now I realize I've just repeated myself, and that is the problem with doing unscripted videos. But I'm enjoying this, and I'm enjoying giving you guys some free game here based on my own experiences. Let's move on. So guys, those are the things. Those are the four main things. So what do you do now? Well, protect your dopamine. Do the hard thing first before any easy reward. Do more low, slow building dopamine tasks. Let's go back to that slide so you can see what I'm talking about in case you have lost focus. And if you are still here, thank you. Do more of these difficult, slow reward tasks. Try and habit stack difficult tasks. Put yourself in environments that makes it easy to do these tasks. Makes it easy to become that type of person. Simple. That was so cringe. Sorry about that. Protect your dopamine. Do the hard things first, easy reward later. Design your environment. Make the right behavior the easiest option. Listen, if you have to cut some people off, cut those people off. If they're dragging you down, you feel like they're slowing down your growth, they're slowing down your progress, you feel like you are destined for more. It's difficult, but you got to cut them out. And you know what? It doesn't mean that you won't ever speak to them again. I went through a phase in my life where I sort of cut out everyone. I went lonely. I said, I'm creating content. I want to become an entrepreneur. I have no idea what I'm going to do, but I want to build a personal brand and I'm going to use it someday. Right now, we're using that personal brand. Probably, I would say a month ago, someone reached out to me who I did not think I was ever going to speak to again. And it was someone that I cut out, and we left things on a bad note. And now things are chilled. Good guy, also focused on his goals from what I can tell. We haven't had a deep conversation, but focused on his goals from what I can tell. So cutting people off is not the end of the world, guys. You're not going to die. It's going to result in maybe getting yourself in the right environments so you can become the person that you really want to become. Stack your habits. Attach new behaviors to existing ones. I think I've gone into that quite in-depthly, but in order to become this disciplined person, you are going to probably need to change some things, create some new habits. If you feel like you've been lacking discipline, you know exactly what you're doing wrong. You know exactly the things that are drawing you back. You got to cut them out. It's difficult, but what makes it easier is replacing them with new ones, and not just replacing them, stacking them on top of habits you've already got that are adding positively to your life. And shift your identity. So stop trying to be disciplined and become someone who is. It's so easy to act like you're disciplined. You're putting on your story that you're going to the gym, you're running, but then you get home and you go look at that box of Pringles and you tuck into it. You tuck into the whole box. You spend 2-3 hours a night watching some YouTube, watching a movie, and you feel so shit afterwards because it's like, oh, I'm literally trying to become this type of person, this new type of person, but I'm still falling back into my old habits. I'm binge eating, I'm smoking weed, I'm doing whatever. It's going to be difficult. So rather become someone who is disciplined by telling yourself, no, this is who I am. I'm protecting my dopamine. I'm designing my environments. I'm stacking good habits, and I'm leaving the stuff that drags me back and drags me down, drags me behind, slows me down out of my life. Gone. 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 Cheers. The problem was never you. It was the system you were operating in, the life that you had. Now you know how to fix it. I promise you guys, you take these 4 things. If you even implement one of them, you will notice a difference. Do it for a week. Do it for a week. Be aware of your dopamine. Be aware of your actions. What is spiking your dopamine and causing you to drop? Is that packet of sweets? What is difficult? Is it even homework? Is it studying? You know, I found when I was in university, literally just studying every single day, doing a little bit of work, became easier over time because I was like, shit, I'm actually showing up for myself. This whole university thing is easy when you actually stick to it every single day. Small daily actions can be 2 minutes. That's all I've got to say on discipline, guys. I think now you know how to trick your brain into being disciplined. It's as simple as that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I think you guys have now got all the keys, all the tools to become someone that is disciplined, someone that is aligned with their desired reality, the life that they are trying to create. Because in order to have that life, it's going to take a lot of hard work. It's going to take quite a lot of sacrifices, but that compound interest builds up over time and you start to get momentum. And this new version of yourself, you start to love them because that baseline dopamine is sky high. That's how I'm feeling right now making this video. I'm tired. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm going to go to bed soon. If you do enjoy this type of content, let me know in the comments. I'll make some more of it, something different to what I've done before. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. But really, if you don't, it's not the end of the world. The fact that you made it to this part of the video, if you're seeing this right now, I appreciate you. It's going to definitely boost this in the algorithm. I'll see you guys soon.